Hi gamers, and welcome to a long overdue video, my PlayStation 4 collection. I've had a lot of requests for this, so here we are. It's not a huge collection, but I think I have most of the essentials here anyway. If you want to see some PlayStation 4 press kits, take a look at the separate video that I have the link down in the description there. So this video is only going to be of the retail PlayStation 4 games. I think there's only one game in that press kit video that I don't have as a retail game. That's Horizon Zero Dawn. I do have to get that as a retail game as well. Sooner or later, it's a great game, of course. But let's go here. As is customary for these kind of videos, I'm going here in alphabetical order. First up, Bloodborne. This here is a promo steelbook case. Just has the promo disc inside here. And yeah, what can I say? Bloodborne it's not only one of my favorite games of the generation. It's quite securely in my top 10 games of all time. This was my, as I've said probably numerous times in my videos before, this was my first game in the Souls series, and I was hooked immediately. But I know I'm not alone with this thought that Bloodborne is the pinnacle of the Souls series. Of course, there are many who prefer Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls, but to me Bloodborne is the best. It's just the environments are so creepy and so well crafted. The atmosphere is just so unique and so horror, for a lack of a better word. It's amazing. Of course, the gameplay and the bosses, everything just drops your jaw to the floor. Bloodborne, one of my favorite games ever. But these two aren't that far behind. I got here Dark Souls 2, A Scholar of the First Sin edition, which is the remaster, HD remaster of the previous generation game. Well, it was HD in that generation as well. And Dark Souls 3. Fantastic games, these as well. I don't know why people knock on Dark Souls 2. It's still a great game, and some great DLC attached to it as well, which can't really be said for Dark Souls 3. The DLC especially was a bit lacking, but still these are among my favorite games of the generation still. As is this Destiny. Here I have the limited edition of the game. And yeah, I have spent many an hour playing Destiny, and you know, I wasn't one of those people who played it religiously from the beginning to this day. I have stopped playing it after the content got a bit old, but every time they made some new content, brought out a new expansion, I was right back playing the game. It's a phenomenal shooter. Everything from the the mechanics and the gunplay is it's just top-notch Bungie stuff. The game started out with having too low volume of content, and I guess it got a bit old, a bit too fast. But all of those have been fixed over the years, basically, and yeah, really looking forward to Destiny 2. I'm gonna jump right back in, and I think it's good that we all start from the beginning. Of course, some of the gamers in my play group that have played non-stop from the beginning probably don't share this sentiment, but it's really fun to start everything anew. I had lots of good memories, some really great online memories with the Destiny, and looking forward to number 2 as well. Then, not sure if I'm gonna be able to fit this here. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Here I have the collector's edition of the game. It's this triangular box here. Deus Ex I really liked, even loved the previous game, Deus Ex Human Revolution. This has a better game world, but other than that, I think I prefer Human Revolution for some reason. There's they improve on many things, but still I kind of prefer the for a lack of a better word, the soul that's in the previous game. That's not to say that this is a bad game, but I guess I prefer the previous game. And then where do we continue from here? I gotta be careful not to pick the game from the wrong stack. That would mean my alphabetical order is ruined. Then Drive Club. Don't really have that much to say about this. Haven't really played it, but still it's a pretty decent PlayStation 4 exclusive. I do believe this didn't really get its 15 minutes. It's I believe it's better than the reputation it was given. And then another difficult one to display here. Fallout 4. This is the Pip-Boy edition. Love Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 for all their faults as well. It's of course I like Oblivion even. So I'm a fan of Bethesda RPGs, and it's the best thing about Fallout is the game world, and so much to explore and meet all kinds of different people, some more well off than others. It's quite fun to go to a new town and just hear what the poor bastards are up to there. It's not as nasty as Fallout 1 and 2, which is a bit of a shame. I think they could have gone a bit more overboard with the story and some of the things that you can do with the people there, but it's still Fallout in my opinion. And yeah, the Pip-Boy edition is a really cool thing to own. And then God of War 3 Remastered. They did a fair amount of remasters from the PlayStation 3. I got a couple of incoming here. Not really much to say about that. God of War was for me. God of War 3 was for me a bit too much. They made Kratos too much of a dick here. It just wasn't that likable of a character, and the motivations for some a little bit off, and just came across a little bit juvenile. So to me, God of War 3 isn't one of the best games in the series, but still a nice thing to have the remaster on PS4. Gravity Rush Remastered. It's originally a Vita game, and nice to have it on the PlayStation 4 as well. Great design, quite a unique game. And then Infamous. Here is Second Son. This is the collector's edition. And also got here the First Light. Of course, one of the earlier PlayStation 4 games. Second Son was one of the games that really proved to gamers that PlayStation 4 had a lot of power under its hood, especially the neon-colored powers looked really great when bouncing off a wet road or something like that. It just looks really good. First Light, basically a standalone expansion. It's really nice to have it as a physical edition as well. They could have just made it a downloadable game, but yeah, good stuff. Then one of those remasters I was talking about, Journey Collector's Edition, a collection of 3 games, Flow, Flower and Journey. Flow and Flower are, I guess, more stress toys than actual games. Somebody might disagree with me on that, but still, look great and are quite unique in the realm of video games. But Journey is it's of course something very special, especially when you're playing it in online. No dialogue, basically no story except the story that you make up in your head. You encounter other players at certain points, and it's beautiful, sounds just amazing, and it's great to have this on the PlayStation 4 as well. As is this, The Last of Us Remastered. Last of Us was one of the best games of previous generation. Really looking forward to number 2 as well. For me, The Last of Us is it's one of the best stories ever told in video games. It's not as grand as some Japanese RPG or something like that, but that's precisely the point. It's just so nuanced, and I think the story changes focus depending on who you are. Me being a father definitely gives me a different perspective, and I think about the story from different angle. So that's what's so great about the story of The Last of Us. A Little Big Planet 3. This is another promo steelbook that I have. And I loved the first Little Big Planet, and I liked the second Little Big Planet, but I don't think it has that much to offer when it came to the third iteration, because of course the game making tools are of this out of this world, and people make some insane stuff here, but it really, there is a little point in playing those frankly simple versions of puzzle games and shooting games and stuff like that. I don't really see the appeal there, other than to check out the mastery of the people who made those levels, but they're not that fun to play. And I guess that in my opinion is also what when it comes to the actual platforming, the main game, a platform game, the controls are not, they're really not that responsive. The character just bounce around, and while the physical the jumping based on the physical aspects, it's fun for a while, but for a hardcore platforming a guy like myself, I just feel like I need to be playing something more accurate, like Mario. And then we get to Metal Gear Solid 5. This is first the Ground Ground Zeroes, which was basically a demo that you had to pay for, but many people did, as they were really hungry for new Metal Gear Solid. You know, this is you can play through this very quickly, even though you know you can try the scenario here in this little teaser from multiple angles. There really isn't that much to go on here, which can be the same can be said for the actual game, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. I got here the collector's edition, which includes the bionic arm replica. Metal Gear Solid 5 became one of my, became my most played game ever. I played through the single-player campaign and had a good time with it. I do love the cutscenes of Metal Gear. I guess my main criticism here is that there isn't enough cutscenes. I'm on that end of the spectrum. I would have preferred more, and yes, I would have preferred David Hayter to do his final gig as Snake. But Kiefer Sutherland isn't bad. I think he would have his voice is great, but it's just not Snake, and I guess I'm still a bit pissed that it's almost common knowledge that Kojima had his ego come in the way, that Hayter was becoming, more iconic when it comes to Metal Gear than him even. And I guess he wanted to work with an actual movie star in addition to that, so he picked Kiefer, and David Hayter was out. But that's beside the point. The single-player campaign it's good. It's a real shame that Konami didn't allow Kojima to finish it. There is the final chapter is you can see the videos of it, but it's not here on the game. So it's definitely a game that was left unfinished. So that's a shame. But what I did do with this game, I played a few hundred hours of the FOB, the online component, where you invade other people's bases and beef up your own base. And I just got addicted to that. I spent so many hours with the game, and I think like half of those were just me as Big Boss sitting in the aerial command center, the helicopter, and just tinkering away with the staff and doing every single gun, developing every single gun that you can, and just raising the levels here and checking out some missions there, and it was very addicting, and I just love the game. Even for that single reason, it's one of my favorite games ever, I think. Then I got Minecraft PlayStation 4 edition. Not really too much to say about that hasn't already been said. I think everybody knows Minecraft. Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I love the first Mirror's Edge. I haven't actually had the time to play this yet, so maybe one day. And then I got here The Order 1886. This is the Blackwater edition. The Order was again like with the Infamous. It was one of the earlier PlayStation 4 games, and also one of the best looking. So it was a real victory for the PlayStation 4, graphics wise. but it's a really short game, and even half of that is you're watching cutscene. So yeah, it was a bit of a hit and miss. Not sure if they're going to be making The Order 1887 someday with all the criticisms in mind that they received for the game, but yeah, it's still quite an interesting PlayStation 4 exclusive. Overcooked Gourmet Edition. This was originally a downloadable game, but it's really nice to have this as a physical edition as well. One of my favorite couch co-ops ever. Really great stuff with three friends. Overwatch Origins Edition. Again, I have to confess, I haven't really played Overwatch. I don't really have an opinion on it, but of course it's one of the most important releases of this generation, so of course I have to have it in my collection. Ratchet & Clank, the full-on remaster of the first game in the series. I have this one is still sealed, but I do have this as a downloaded game on my PS4, one of my son's favorite PS4 games. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. A really great return to form for Resident Evil. This has a different perspective, being first person, but it really was just a return to the roots of the Resident Evil series, with limited ammo and save rooms with save room music and really funny and obscure puzzles, and it was Resident Evil through and through, except the viewpoint. But this is the best use of PlayStation VR. For me, it worked really great, and it brought something to the game that I was playing. It was not just a gimmick, but it actually heightened the horror in the game and made everything just that much more scary. Really essential game if you own a PlayStation VR. Retro City Rampage DX. One of the rarer PlayStation 4 games. This was a downloadable game originally, but they made a physical copy of this, and I got here a sealed copy of this. Thanks to Valtteri for hooking me up with this. Stardew Valley Collector's Edition. A really charming game, looks great, and it's beats Harvest Moon at its own game. Basically, this is one of the best games of the farm simulation genre, and it's amazing that it's basically made by one guy. Street Fighter V. I got here a steelbook case signed by the game's director. Oh no. Then a Finnish game, Go Finland, Trials Fusion, one of my favorite games on the console. Fantastic games, as all Trials games are. It's just amazing what they can do with as simple of a concept as driving your motorcycle from start to finish. It's almost a puzzle game. Of sorts, when you're not just driving, you have to figure out how to distribute your weight when you're in the air, and how to land and stuff like that. And some the more difficult courses there I've gone finished almost everything, but there are a couple of courses that I just can't finish, even with unlimited continues. It's just there's just one jump that I just can't make. I don't understand how people do it without falling over even a single time. So, but, Trials isn't only about what's on the surface. There are tons and tons of hidden messages and hidden conspiracy theories, and, you just have to Google. I can't even begin to tell you of the finest points of Trials games. Just Google, you won't be disappointed. Then Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, another one of these promo steelbooks that I have. Uncharted 4 being, the fourth game in the series, it's, they had to think of something else this time, and I think this is the best game in the series, both story-wise and gameplay-wise. The story, of course, it has a lot of heart in it, great characters, and a real ending to the saga. And but gameplay-wise, I think it's the best thing that this introduced finally, is that you can actually find multiple routes. In the previous games, you almost always had, just one wall you can climb up, and that's it. But here, you got, some bigger areas that you can explore and actually, go up that wall or that wall. It's just a lot more satisfying to get to where you're going. Still, you can still see when okay, that ledge is gonna give away, and then you're gonna get miraculously swung over there, and it feels quite scripted even to this day. But still, it's a grand adventure, and of course one of the landmark titles of PlayStation and PlayStation 4. Until Dawn, one of the nicer surprises that we had here. A new IP. Nobody was wasn't really expecting anything from this, and it was a really nice surprise. How this is a fun take on the horror movies with these young people going to the cabin, and then some monsters start snapping them up, and who will survive and stuff like that. Some nice humor, some nice jump scares, but what's best about this is that you can do your own decisions while you're playing, and they will drastically change the outcome of the game. You can have all people dead or all people alive, or anything from between. So a lot of replay value here as well. Really good stuff. And then Wild Guns Reloaded. This plastic baggie here means that this is the limited edition keychain is included here as well. Wild Guns being actually one of the more sought after Super Nintendo games these days. A great 2D shooter. And finally, one more game. Got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Witcher, this is the best Witcher game. Looks absolutely fantastic. The world is amazing, and one of the best things that of Witcher 3 are the side missions. They are top notch, you know. They're great, great writing in them. You got some great motivation and great rewards, and each, you know, they're as far as possible you can get from, you know, the standard fetch quests of some other RPGs, I guess. So that's one of the best accomplishments that CD Projekt Red made with The Witcher 3. And that's it for my physical PlayStation 4 collection. I have a bunch of digital games as well, mostly for the PSVR. Those I have almost exclusively as downloadable games, which is pretty handy when you have the VR set on your head and don't want to go and search the game discs. But mostly, yeah, I got here. I don't think you can leave me a comment if I'm missing some of your favorite games here. If I should add something to my collection here, leave me a comment below. But yeah, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm FinGamer on both accounts there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.